The name of the case was Hector Sosa. He was an immigrant living in Reseda, California. He was walking down a set of stairs, and one of the stair treads crumbled below his feet, and he went tumbling down 9 steps, causing some serious injuries. He had a career as a mechanic, an automotive mechanic, going all the way back to when he was about 10 years old, and the result of this injury, it took him out of that field completely. Throughout the case, things started getting very messy.
The defense's angle was really to try to make it seem like what our client had gone through wasn't that significant. And the defense had destroyed the entire step that collapsed and said that this step was never in a dangerous condition, making it difficult for us to show why and how this particular step collapsed.
So what we had to do is we had to hire a very seasoned concrete expert to tell us a little bit more about the forensics of concrete. And this information gave us the lead on how do we approach these witnesses, how do we attack their credibility, and this is what we did in this case.
The apartment complex and the management company failed to move him to another unit despite his doctors providing notes. He wanted to get moved to another apartment building on the first floor because he was having a hard time going up and down the stairs, and they finally moved him to an apartment that was covered in mold, roach infested, had leaks coming from the walls and the ceiling, and at some point it looked like a rainstorm inside of his own apartment and damaged all of his own furniture. This was choreographed, we think, by the defendants to get this guy out of their apartment. They were upset that he was suing them, and the defendants in this case, they had a long history with code violations going back all the way to the 70s.
It started off as a premises case, but it really morphed into a failure to accommodate case and then a habitability case. And by developing the case into these other claims, it allowed us an opportunity to present a lot more evidence to get to the place that we wanted to be, and that was a verdict for our clients.
You had so many different individuals that played a role in the negligence of this property management company and the owners of this property. And it makes it difficult for a jury to latch on to one person or one entity as being the careless or the wrongdoing defendant. And so we really had to make it clear who each person was, what their role was, what their responsibility was, and how the entire system failed.
We had planned to start this trial. There was a lot of exhibits in this case. We had 180 exhibits that we had, and we had sent all those exhibits to MotionLit to prepare and get us ready and to be our technical advisor at trial. And probably the most crucial thing that really helped our case was all the depositions of the defense experts, and gave the defense advance notice that we plan to use these depositions at trial. And one of the defense experts is a property management expert hired by the defense. I went through his deposition and gave MotionLit several pages of the line and page numbers to his deposition. And we turned it into a nice little video that we told the defense we were going to play either in our opening statement or we were going to play in our case in chief. It was a very powerful video. It was essentially the defense expert confirming that they were negligent, saying that they were liable for the stairs, saying that they failed to accommodate him, saying that his apartment was uninhabitable.
The defendants had very poor record keeping, and what we needed to do is essentially show when inspections were done, when they weren't done, to draw that timeline out for a jury to really demonstrate they were not calling the proper maintenance to come in and to fix these steps and make sure that the folks that are living in these apartments aren't subjected to a dangerous staircase.
We needed one of the video depositions cut in very short order because we needed to use it to help us with our settlement negotiations, and MotionLit was able to turn it around in lightning flash time, and we're able to use that, present it to the defendants and say, this is your own expert and this is what your own expert is saying, and he makes our case.
The defense attorney objected to everything. He did a whole motion and objected to his own experts, saying that his own expert shouldn't be able to testify about this stuff. He's not an expert in this stuff. And basically the defense tried to impeach his own expert witness because he knew that their case was lost. And it was shortly after that, on a Friday afternoon, the offer went up, what was $75,000 to $5 million. Our client wanted to settle, and we walked away with $5 million on that case.
As much as your substance of your trial is important, your presentation is equally as important. And so if you're up there and you don't have a smooth presentation, you're losing credibility. And MotionLit ensures that we have that credibility when it comes to our presentation.
When you're trying a case, everything is about visuals. And MotionLit was there for us all the way through the trial. It doesn't matter what time of day, if it's 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm texting, I'm getting responses, things are there, they're ready for me, and they're presented to the jury in a seamless fashion. There's no waiting, everything is done perfectly, and it's done right.
For upcoming attorneys and realize that they have complicated medical issues, or you have a lot of exhibits that you want to show and publish to the jury, MotionLit is the best at making sure that your trial runs seamlessly.